German Shepherds have a reputation for being one of the smartest and most capable dog breeds in the world. They're used as police dogs, military dogs, search and rescue dogs, service dogs, and trusted working partners in countless jobs that require intelligence, focus, and reliability. But there's one thing all of those roles have in common: their jobs. And honestly, that's not a coincidence, because if there's one thing German Shepherds seem to need, it's a purpose. These dogs aren't usually content spending all day doing absolutely nothing. They want something to learn, something to accomplish, something to be responsible for. In fact, many German Shepherd owners eventually discover that their dog is happiest when it feels useful. The funny thing is that if nobody provides a job, the German Shepherd often creates one, usually without asking for permission. So today we're talking about why German Shepherds always seem to need a job, and why one of the hardest working dog breeds in the world is often searching for a mission, even when none exists. Before we start, make sure to check out our selected and recommended products linked down below. 1. They were bred to work. One of the biggest reasons German Shepherds always seem to need a job is because that's exactly what they were created to do. This isn't a breed that was developed to sit on a couch all day. It isn't a breed that was designed purely for companionship. German Shepherds were bred to work, and that history still shapes their behavior today. Originally, these dogs were used to herd and protect livestock. That required intelligence, focus, decision-making, and the ability to stay engaged for long periods of time. A German Shepherd couldn't simply switch its brain off and hope everything worked out. The dog had responsibilities, and it took those responsibilities seriously. What's interesting is that the breed became so good at working that humans kept finding new jobs for it: police work, military work, search and rescue, service work, detection work, protection work. The list just keeps growing. And honestly, that's because German Shepherds have a combination of traits that's difficult to find. They're intelligent, trainable, confident, and incredibly motivated. Many dogs enjoy learning. German Shepherds often seem to enjoy having a purpose. Owners notice this quickly. Teach a German Shepherd a task and the dog pays attention. Give the dog a routine and it remembers. Provide a responsibility and suddenly the dog becomes deeply invested in doing it correctly. It's almost like the breed was designed to feel useful, because in many ways it was. What's funny is that modern German Shepherds still carry this mindset even when there are no sheep to protect and no official assignments to complete. The instinct never really disappeared. The environment changed. The dog didn't. Which means a German Shepherd living in a suburban home often approaches daily life with the same attitude its ancestors brought to serious working roles. The dog wakes up, looks around, and starts searching for something important to do. And honestly, that's where a lot of the fun begins. 2. Doing nothing feels wrong. One thing that separates German Shepherds from many other breeds is how uncomfortable they can become when there's nothing to do. And honestly, that's because their brains were never designed for inactivity. A lot of dogs are perfectly happy spending an afternoon relaxing. A German Shepherd often spends that same afternoon looking for a purpose, because from the dog's perspective, doing nothing feels strange, almost suspicious. Surely something needs attention. Surely there's a responsibility somewhere. Surely somebody forgot to assign today's mission. Owners know exactly what this looks like. The dog has already gone for a walk. The dog has already eaten. The dog has already spent time with the family. Yet somehow it's still wandering around the house looking for additional tasks. It's almost like having an employee who's finished all their work and immediately starts asking for more. What's especially interesting is that this isn't just about physical energy. A lot of people assume German Shepherds simply need exercise. Exercise helps, but that's only part of the equation. These dogs need mental engagement too. The brain wants something to focus on, something to learn, something to solve. And if that stimulation isn't available, boredom starts creeping in. The funny thing is that boredom doesn't always look the same in a German Shepherd. Sometimes the dog becomes restless, sometimes it starts pacing, sometimes it begins paying very close attention to things that weren't previously important. A sound outside, a movement in the yard, a leaf that may or may not be behaving suspiciously. Suddenly everything becomes worthy of investigation, because the German Shepherd brain is trying to find work, any work. What's funny is that many owners accidentally teach their dogs this behavior without realizing it. The dog notices something. The owner responds. The dog notices something else. The owner responds again. Before long, the German Shepherd has concluded that monitoring the environment is a legitimate responsibility. And honestly, from the dog's perspective, that's a completely reasonable conclusion. The result is a breed that often struggles to simply switch off. Not because it's anxious, not because it's hyperactive, because somewhere deep inside the dog genuinely believes there's probably something important that needs doing. And until it finds that thing, relaxing feels like a waste of valuable working hours. 3. They create their own jobs. If there's one thing German Shepherds are exceptionally good at, it's finding work where none exists. And honestly, this is where the breed becomes both impressive and hilarious. Because if a German Shepherd decides it needs a job, it rarely waits for human approval. The dog simply appoints itself. Owners know exactly what this looks like. Nobody assigned the dog to monitor the front window. The German Shepherd assigned itself. Nobody requested security patrols around the backyard. The German Shepherd took initiative. Nobody asked for a detailed analysis of every unusual sound in the neighborhood. The German Shepherd has already started the investigation. What's funny is how seriously they take these responsibilities. A German Shepherd doesn't casually observe something. It supervises it. The dog notices a visitor. The dog pays attention. The dog notices movement outside. The dog pays attention. The dog notices somebody carrying groceries into the house. Apparently, that requires oversight, too. And honestly, from the dog's perspective, this all makes perfect sense. A job exists. The job needs doing. The German Shepherd is available. Problem solved. What's especially entertaining is that many of these self-created jobs involve watching people. A lot. The dog follows family members around, keeps track of where everyone is, monitors unusual activity, and somehow develops a surprisingly accurate understanding of household routines. It's almost like having a manager who never clocks out. Ever. The funny thing is that these jobs often become permanent. The German Shepherd doesn't monitor the neighborhood once. The German Shepherd becomes head of neighborhood security. The dog doesn't notice visitors occasionally. The dog becomes director of visitor relations. And because they're intelligent enough to recognize patterns, they become surprisingly committed to these unofficial responsibilities. The result is a breed that often feels busy even when nothing important is happening. Because from the German Shepherd's point of view, something important is always happening, even if it's just making sure the family is operating according to established procedures. And honestly, the dog would probably appreciate a little more cooperation from management. Don't forget to check out our selected and recommended products. They might just be the perfect tools to make your life easier when it comes to caring for your pawed friend. 4. They take responsibility seriously. One thing that makes German Shepherds so different from many other breeds is that they don't just accept responsibilities, they commit to them completely. And honestly, that's one of the reasons people trust them with so many important jobs, because once a German Shepherd believes something is its responsibility, it becomes deeply invested in the outcome, sometimes a little too invested. Owners know exactly what this looks like. The dog decides it's responsible for the family. Now everybody gets monitored. The dog decides it's responsible for the house. Now every unusual sound deserves attention. The dog decides it's responsible for a particular routine. Now, any change to that routine becomes a matter of concern. What's funny is how seriously they approach these self-assigned duties. A lot of breeds notice things. German Shepherds evaluate things. The dog isn't just looking out the window. The dog is conducting surveillance. The dog isn't just watching visitors. The dog is assessing the situation. The dog isn't simply following family members around. The dog is maintaining operational awareness. At least, that's how it seems from the German Shepherd's perspective. And honestly, that attitude explains a lot about the breed, because German Shepherds aren't usually content with doing something halfway. Once they're invested, they're invested. That's one reason they're so successful in working roles. They focus, they care, they pay attention, and they genuinely seem to want to do a good job. What's especially interesting is how personal these responsibilities can become. A German Shepherd doesn't usually think there's a task. The German Shepherd thinks, that's my task, and that small difference changes everything. The dog becomes attached to the responsibility, protective of it, committed to it, which is why many German Shepherd owners describe their dogs as incredibly dependable. If the dog believes something matters, it's going to show up every day ready to handle it. No reminders required. The downside is that this same mindset can occasionally make life more complicated, because sometimes the dog starts taking responsibility for things that never needed supervision in the first place, like the mail carrier, or squirrels, or a plastic bag that moved suspiciously in the wind. But honestly, that's just part of living with a German Shepherd. The dog sees a responsibility. The dog accepts the responsibility. And from that moment forward, everybody else is expected to take the situation just as seriously. 5. A bored German Shepherd is a creative German Shepherd. One thing experienced German Shepherd owners learn very quickly is that boredom can be dangerous. Not dangerous in a dramatic movie sense. Dangerous in a, why is my couch missing a corner kind of sense. Because German Shepherds are intelligent dogs, and intelligent dogs tend to solve problems. The issue is that when there aren't enough real problems available, they start creating their own projects. And honestly, owners don't always appreciate those projects. A bored German Shepherd often becomes surprisingly creative. The dog starts looking for ways to stay busy, ways to entertain itself, ways to make the day more interesting. Unfortunately, the dog's definition of interesting and the owner's definition of acceptable don't always match. Owners know exactly what this looks like. The dog starts digging. The dog starts chewing. The dog starts barking at things that previously weren't important. The dog develops a sudden interest in household renovations. Nobody approved the renovations. The German Shepherd moved forward anyway. What's funny is that these behaviors aren't usually coming from a bad place. The dog isn't trying to be destructive. The dog is trying to find purpose, trying to stay engaged, trying to put that powerful brain to work. And when a brain like that has nothing productive to focus on, it starts looking elsewhere. What's especially interesting is that many German Shepherds don't need endless physical exercise as much as they need mental challenges. You can tire out the body, but if the brain is still bored, the dog may continue searching for something meaningful to do. That's why training, games, puzzles, and learning new skills are so important for the breed. The dog wants stimulation. The dog wants challenges. The dog wants a reason to use all that intelligence. Because once a German Shepherd starts feeling useful, a lot of those boredom-related problems disappear. The funny thing is that many owners eventually realize something important. The dog isn't being difficult. The dog is unemployed. And like many highly motivated workers, unemployment does not suit it very well. Which is why a bored German Shepherd often becomes one of the most creative animals you'll ever meet. And honestly, that's either impressive or terrifying depending on what happened to your furniture. 6. Why owners love their work ethic. After everything we've talked about, the self-assigned jobs, the constant supervision, the inability to tolerate boredom, and the endless search for purpose, you'd think German Shepherds would be exhausting. And honestly, sometimes they are. But German Shepherd owners absolutely love them anyway, because all those traits that make the breed demanding are also the traits that make the breed extraordinary. These dogs care. A lot. They care about their families. They care about their responsibilities. They care about whatever task they've decided matters today. And that level of commitment is hard not to admire. What's especially impressive is how dependable they can be. Once a German Shepherd learns something, it tends to take it seriously. Once it forms a bond, that bond tends to run deep. Once it accepts a responsibility, it's often all in. That's a rare combination, and it's one reason so many people become lifelong fans of the breed. Owners often describe their German Shepherds as partners rather than pets, not because the dog is human, but because the dog seems genuinely invested in helping, participating, contributing. The German Shepherd doesn't usually want to sit on the sidelines. It wants to be involved, which is why these dogs thrive when they're given structure, training, and meaningful interaction. They want a purpose, and when they have one, they can be incredible companions. Loyal, intelligent, reliable, focused. The kind of dog that makes you feel like somebody always has your back. Of course, that same work ethic can occasionally create chaos. The dog may become overenthusiastic, overcommitted, slightly obsessed with a responsibility nobody assigned. But honestly, most owners wouldn't change it, because the very traits that make German Shepherds challenging are the same traits that make them special. The dog wants to matter. The dog wants to help. The dog wants to do a good job. And that's a pretty admirable attitude, even if it occasionally results in a backyard security operation that nobody requested. So why do German Shepherds always seem to need a job? Because for generations, that's exactly what they were bred to do. Work, learn, focus, take responsibility, and stay engaged with the world around them. That mindset is still there today. Even when there are no sheep to herd, no official assignments to complete, and no supervisor handing out tasks, the German Shepherd simply starts looking for a purpose, and if it can't find one, it usually creates one. Sometimes that's helpful, sometimes it's hilarious, and sometimes it results in a dog taking neighborhood security far more seriously than anyone expected. But that's part of what makes the breed so remarkable. German Shepherds aren't content with just being present. They want to contribute. They want to participate. They want to feel useful. And honestly, that's a big reason so many people love them. Because at the end of the day, a German Shepherd isn't really looking for work. It's looking for a mission, and chances are it's already found one. Don't forget to check out our selected and recommended products. They might just be the perfect tools to make your life easier when it comes to caring for your pawed friend.
Music licensing reimagined.